Welcome back. This is MLA Canada's Year in Review. We get into some meaty stuff now. We're going to talk about basically our key learnings, our market insights for 2020, and we are going to touch on a few predictions for 2021.
I think where we have to start right now is the new value formula that's establishing itself throughout every marketplace. That's both Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. What we're talking about is just the significant shifts that we've all experienced over the last 12 months as a result of COVID that relates to our lifestyle and our needs. So we're talking a little bit about the unhinging between work and office. We're talking a little bit about new habits and new lifestyles. We're also talking about the importance of presence right now, right? When we think about everything that our friends and our family members are talking about, so much of it is focused around a renewed perspective on how they want to show up and how they want to live their daily lives. And that's presenting itself in terms of value to new marketplaces. You know, some of the conversation that we've been having in the boardroom lately is like, where are the opportunities? And the opportunities are any marketplace right now where that value formula is being reimagined. What we're really talking about is what Zoom affords us, right? When you're no longer constrained of living within that commute time of the office, the incredible opportunity now is that you can choose any marketplace to live. And many are looking east, some are looking north, and some are actually looking west over to the islands.
Yeah, we saw the Okanagan and the island have massive gains in especially their single-family markets.
So those rural locations are going to continue to thrive. You will see double-digit growth in both in price points, but then also in sales absorptions over the foreseeable future, primarily because they just do not have the density and they do not have the supply to be able to maintain the demand metrics that we're going to see continue to push into those new neighborhoods. That's today. Our expectation, though, is that today you're focused on space, right? You're looking for that second home office. You're looking for that learning opportunity for your children. You're looking for a front and a backyard and how you're going to spend your time. But we think that those expectations are going to shift over the next 12 to 24 months, and people will look to regain some of the things that they've left behind. And that's also going to impact new marketplaces. Those rural locations that are able to deliver some of the things that all of us have come to center our lives around in a pre-COVID life are going to really light up as well. And so we'll pay very close attention to some of those secondary marketplaces because we know that they'll continue to thrive over the next 12 months.
Yeah, and I think, that leads us maybe into sort of another topic, which is really the other change we really saw take shape in 2020, and that is how technology has changed the way we operate. As an industry, we've kind of lagged behind. Technology has not disrupted our industry in the same way that it has many others just yet. And certainly we saw service providers have to get creative in how to do their work, and there's going to be significant changes there because we're not going back, right? The fact that we know how to do these things without necessarily having to be in person, we're not going back to all of that. Some of that will return, but certainly not in the same way that we were operating before. So technology is here to stay. It's going to continue to be a focus for an industry. There are new players continuing to expand into new markets, and Vancouver will be one of them, given the way that our real estate market is. So, we're certainly invested in technology here at MLA Canada. We're focused on lead generation and sales conversions. We're focused on a better experience for our customers, giving them access to information, and it's certainly something that's high on our priority list. We're going to see that continue in our industry, and really COVID truly escalated that because we'd been falling behind many other industries in terms of how technology was impacting how we do business.
I think you're spot on. You'll see the paper contract become a thing of the past. In some instances, that's already happening. And I think that you're also going to see an incredible explosion of investment and strategy around how to deliver a better online experience. How can you learn more about a home, about your offering, about the appliances, or about the cabinets? All these details that are so vital to the transaction. How can we make sure that our homeowners or our audiences really recognize the value that's put into these properties long before they ever step foot and have to touch and feel something in real life?
And maybe switching gears a little bit, I do think it's worth talking about, we've talked a lot about numbers and fundamentals, and if you watch all the videos, there's we've talked about employment and interest rates and mortgage rates and those remaining low and all of that good stuff. And And a lot of this ties back to a theme that we've talked about in the past before, and that is the value of BC and the Lower Mainland in general. The reality is that we are a global community, and our response to COVID, I think, has continued this this message that we are a safe and wonderful place to be. We have access to fresh air and to parks and mountains. The rest of the country right now is on lockdown, and we have people on ski hills. We have parks that are all within blocks of where we live. We have this incredible reach to nature. We have a strong, thriving economy with a broad-based industry. Our hospitality and our entertainment industry got hit really hard through COVID, but we had a whole number of other industries that were really able to step up and step in. Technology is continuing to play its part here in Vancouver. We've got manufacturing surprisingly taking a bit of a step up in the past 6 months. We've got film, which is going to continue here. We've got a number of obviously industries that are fueling us. Housing, of course, is the backbone to our GDP here as well. Those things are all continuing. When we look at the fundamentals, those things remain strong. Government is still quite stable, especially when you think about what's happening down south right now. We are an incredible place to be and live, and there's a diversity, and there's beauty, and there's access and opportunity, and all of these things that as residents we kind of know and perhaps take for granted, but those things remain intact. And on the global stage, we are still one of the best places to be. And as long as that continues and remains, we are going to continue to see people want to be here and want to live here and want to stay here. And that in itself is going to ensure that prices are going to continue to escalate because we don't have supply, and we're going to see that go on.
I mean, that's a fair point, right? Today, the airports for the most part are closed. International travel is so difficult. It is a scary venture until we have rampant vaccination throughout all continents. And yet, we know that the Canadian government has committed 1.2 million residences over the next 3 years. For Vancouver, that's in the Lower Mainland, that's likely 500,000 people over the next decade. 500,000 new residences, and our housing stock is not keeping pace with that. We have challenges of supply that will result from the recession in real estate of 2018 and 2019. We have that new formula that's establishing itself in terms of how people attach value to specific offerings. And then we have the ability of technology to really support an online transaction. And yet today, with the airports closed and with immigration being a fraction of what it was a year ago, we are still experiencing double-digit price sales to listing ratios, double-digit price escalations in single family. Just imagine what the world looks like the moment that we all feel more comfortable exploring new opportunities, and on a world stage, that investor as it comes back into Vancouver and those residences as they look to move their families, Vancouver's the obvious choice. It's a world-class city. Very, very excited about values in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah. On that note,
I think that's a wrap, Suze.
That's a wrap.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep in mind that this is part of a 4-part series, so we really encourage you to check out some of the other sessions just to make sure that this is all making sense and tying it together. At the end of the day, we have an incredible amount of data that sits behind this, so if you're interested in continuing the conversation, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, if you enjoyed the content, give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. It gives you access to an incredible amount of content, not only what's on the channel, but of course the Newswire, which is a daily roundup of everything real estate related in our marketplace. It also gives you access to our monthly updates, as well as any project releases that we have coming up. And as we mentioned, 2021 will be a big year, so there's a lot of really exciting releases that are coming your way. Unless you have anything else to add, Susanna?
No, we'll see you next month.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.